What's up, y'all? It's your boy Trent Watson here again from May Hoops and Baseline to Baseline. I'm honored here today to be with two very special guests. I got my boy Rob Wright and his pops joining me here for an interview at Rob's graduation party. You know, he's back home from Montverde. Everybody's been watching him this season. He had a great year this year, accomplished a lot of great things. So let's, hop right into it. You feel me, Rob? How you doing, bro? You back home? Been home for a couple of days now. How you been? What does it feel like to be back home around your family?
It feels good to be back around my support system and stuff like that, and just to get in the gym with the people I started with and just keep working on my game and keep growing.
Okay. So while you've been home, is that mostly how you've been spending your time? Is just at the crib or in the gym, just getting better?
Yep, in the gym and with loved ones.
Okay. So I do want to mention, y'all, this interview is very special to me. Before we get into it, Rob, when I first started scouting high school basketball 2 summers ago, he showed me love from day one. You feel me? When he never had to. I did a pretty great interview with him on the day he actually committed to Baylor, and then did another interview with him when he announced the news that he was going to continue his talents at Montverde Academy. So, also having that Delaware connection, you know what I mean? We just rooting for each other, rooting for Rob to keep going and, continuing the legacy. So, we're going to hop right into it. So first I want to dive into, Rob, yesterday you were honored by the state, by the city. I just want to know, what does that mean for you? How does that feel?
It's a big thing because growing up, it's a lot of kids around here that could have been doing the same type of things, but just don't have the right people around them or right support system like I do. I have a good family and good people around me that keep me working, keep me in the gym, and keep me out of trouble. So I'm just blessed. I want to thank God and my family, and I'm honored.
Okay. And Big Rob, can you piggyback off that? How do you feel about, seeing your son go on to get honored by the city and the state and be honored amongst those type of people?
It's a big deal. I'm appreciative for it, you know what I mean? Because me just loving the game and just knowing how we started, just doing everything out of love for basketball, and then just having a village around us, and then people just recognizing all the hard work and it's coming together at the right time. You know what I mean? We always talk about some of my friends who win the best, that I'm close with in the basketball world and stuff like that, and just family. Your junior, senior year is very important, you know what I mean? Just the fact that you can start off fast and then slow up, or he just kept growing. So the fact that they realized and acknowledged that was big, you know what I mean? Just being from back home, you know what I mean?
Okay. So Rob, you coming off a great season, like I said earlier. Just a couple weeks ago, you literally won a Chipotle National Championship, made history this year with Montverde going undefeated. I just want to know, following that, you had a lot of camps that you went to, Jordan Brand, Allen Iverson Classic, Brink Invitational. I want to talk about those experiences, starting with Jordan Brand, because that was kind of the first one in the list. It's an honor always to make that type of game and get honored by those type of people. So let's talk about what that experience was for you.
Really, it was kind of crazy because we played on the NBA court and got to play with some of my old friends just from the AAU world and just the basketball world. So it was just a fun place to be in, and it was very fun the whole weekend.
Okay. So I want to mention how I did see Rob a couple weeks ago down in Hampton at the Allen Iverson Classic. It was amazing. Rob was honored with an award, especially from Allen Iverson himself. So it was an amazing time. I got to watch Rob behind the scenes at practice, private practice, and I just wanted to note, Rob, that while I was watching, you displayed a high level of leadership out there. You was the loudest kid in the room, always talking, being very supportive for, your teammates. And these are guys that you haven't really been playing with really all year. So, I want to know, where does that stem from, that natural leadership?
I would say it comes from having a lot of younger siblings. I'm the oldest brother. So, I just know how to just relate to every person and just know how to, make people feel comfortable and just get to play their best.
Okay. So how did it feel getting an award specifically from Iverson himself and being honored?
To get the crossover award, that was a big thing and then he had a lot of talks with me after and just told me just to keep working and stuff like that. And it was crazy because that's a Hall of Famer in the NBA. So for somebody like that telling you to keep going and you got it, it's just that you got to keep putting the work in and you doing something right.
Okay. And then I do want to touch on, you went to Brink Invitational in Chicago about probably a week later. It's been a lot of film and footage from, you know, your time out there going around on social media, showing kind of your package and what you do. So I just want to know, like, you know, Brink is probably one of the most highly touted, you know, trainers in the league right now. So what was that experience like, and did you get like any small tidbits from him while you were there?
Yep, I would say that was a real fun environment. It was like a lot of like one-on-one stuff and just working on like how you can work in tight spaces. Like they had help defense and stuff like that. So it was really just, and then he told me just always play with pace and don't let anybody change the way you play. Just play like yourself everywhere you go.
Okay. So like I said earlier, before then, you just came off a Chipotle Nationals national championship, undefeated season. Y'all made history. Y'all were in talks being compared with the greatest high school teams of all time, Chino Hills, Cade and them, how they say. Yeah, you know how that goes. So I just want to know, like, you know, what was that experience like? You know, it wasn't easy, for sure, just watching the games and how it played out. You guys definitely faced some adversity. So what does that feel like, you know, being the leader and, you know, the storm that keeps the train going?
I mean, it felt real good because that was our goal from the first day of us getting in the gym together working, because they had just lost the first round the year before, and I just came off a loss in my own season, so I wanted to win just as bad as they did. So it was just the six of us, like the main core guys, coming together and just being older than everyone else, being seniors, just never getting too low, never getting too high, and just always remembering the main goal, which was to win the whole thing and go undefeated.
Okay. So I do also want to ask, you know, you making a transition from Newman Goretti, playing in the PCL, to now going to the EYBL Scholastic, playing at Montverde Academy, which has such a rich history. What was it like when you first touched down? Was it a culture shock or anything different that kind of maybe threw you off a little bit?
It didn't really throw me off, but it was just like the competitiveness in the gym. Like a lot of people, like they there to play basketball just as serious as I was. Like say at Newman, it was probably some people that wasn't as serious and stuff like that. But it's like you playing with the best of the best at all times. Like first couple practices playing against that size, was getting blocked a lot, like my finishes and stuff like that. So just adjusting to that, it took me like a week, and then I was ready. Okay,
so the adjustment period for you wasn't really that much of a turnaround time.
No.
Okay. So I want to know, like, what is a day in the life at Montverde Academy look like for y'all? Like, because I will say, like, how you, to piggyback off you said, how, you know, it's really the main six of y'all, and watching y'all, the way y'all played, y'all picked up on defense, 94 feet, y'all played a lot of minutes, so I definitely know y'all was in shape. So, you know, just talk about, you know, what is that like day to day? So
it was, some days we'll have a morning practice at 5 a.m. And then we'll shower and stuff like that, then go to breakfast. Go to breakfast, you get a couple different stuff. It's at the cafeteria. Then you got class start, first period started like 7:45. Then we got like 4 or 5 periods. Then around 12 you go back to lunch. And then after lunch is like 1 o'clock. That's when practice starts. So you got to be there before 1.
Okay.
And we had our first practice. And then after practice we'll lift. And then you go back and get shots up and stuff like that. So I'll probably be done like 4 or 5. And then go back, get some dinner around 6:30, and then just chill. And then it's an open gym at 8:30, so you can go back to the gym again. Okay, so y'all really just spend the day, you know, perfecting your craft and polishing. Okay, so I do want to ask, you know, what is it about Coach Boyle that, you know, makes him so special, and that what does he do to really instill that Montverde culture? Really just how much he wants to win, how dedicated they is to scouting and all the little things, like making sure everyone getting enough sleep, taking our phones on every trip, and just always making sure we playing together as no one's egos is getting involved and stuff like that. And then just having a good coaching staff around him to make him, like the stuff he don't do well, that they did well. Okay. So I do want to reference our last interview we did when you announced the news to transfer to Montverde. Your reasoning why you told me you were going was, you know, to college prep, get used to being away from home and, you know, being in that environment. So now that, you know, it's finished and you went through it, you made it through, I feel like, I want to know, do you feel as if the move to Montverde translated how you wanted it to? Yep, I believe it did. Just getting used to being away from home, being with yourself by sometimes and stuff like that, and just like knowing how to do stuff on your own and just make your own decisions, really. Okay. And Big Rod, I want to piggyback off of this too. You being his father,
where have you seen, the most growth in Rob, just not as only a basketball player, but also as a person, as a young man, growing off and being on his own and handling his business?
I mean, like he was just saying, I think more the independent, just making those decisions, making the right ones. You know what I mean? He said something as small as like what they do in school. Like he ain't have like no deficiencies in school. Like you get in trouble for small things, uniform, being late, things like that. You know what I mean? When they went to Newman, he had the same type of thing. It was like a demerit system with the same type of stuff, but it would come to my phone. You know what I mean? Okay. So they send emails and stuff to my phone if he did something wrong. Munchie go there now. So it's something, I mean, not like they get in crazy trouble, but just small things to keep him on point. So just that independency as a young man and him being 18 now, on paper he's grown, but just being able to make those decisions without, his family or me being on him 24/7. Because I could be a pest at times, you know what I mean? Just wanting to be perfect,
All right. Yeah. Okay, so I want to know, Rob, both of you guys, I want to ask, what do you feel like, you got better as internally, like as a person, and as a player? And what do you feel like, being on that stage, what do you feel like the competition helped you to rise your game?
So internally, like as a person, I would say just learn how to connect with people from all over the world, and just meeting new people and building friendships and stuff like that, and just getting to know other people. And then on the court, I would have to say just competing at all times and just never taking the game lightly and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then, what was the last one again?
Just as far as from a competition standpoint, like just always being in the EYBL Scholastic and just playing the top of the top, where do you feel like it helped you?
I feel like it helped me a lot just because there's a lot of kids that's out there that's supposed to be highly touted and stuff like that. And just having to match up with that every game, like traveling to different cities to playing different high-level talent, it was tough. It wasn't always easy, but you just got pushed through and just get through it.
Okay. So I do want to mention how you were EYBL Scholastic all-second team. You also led the EYBL Scholastic in assists from the day it started to the last game of the season.
And the AAU season too.
Yes, following over to the season from the summer, the EYBL. So I want to ask you, with that being said, where do you feel like, your IQ and your feel for the game comes from?
I would say, like, as a young kid, I always, watched a lot of, point guards and stuff like that. Chris Paul, Damian Lillard. I used to watch a lot of Shreve Cooper when he was in high school. And just different players like that. And then working with my cousins. I have cousins that train me, Mar Mason and Jules. Just them two, just working on different reads and stuff like that. And just always being in the gym with older people.
Okay. And Big Rock, can you piggyback off of that too?
Yeah, I think just him, I think him too. Like once he started seeing it, you can always tell somebody what to do, you know what I mean? But when he really started seeing the flowers he was getting from it finally on the national stage and stuff like that, it kind of helped him that little push, you know what I mean? That he needed to be consistent and knowing to be consistent, because at the end of the day, he a small guard, you know what I mean? They come a dime a dozen, so to stand out, like you say, you can't let up and stuff like that. So just understanding that, I think it helped him a lot, like playing at the highest stage, you know what I mean, to help him be there and be that. Now at the end of this season, end of career in high school, being a number one point guard regarded, like they say, coming from Wilmington or coming from Delaware, that's a big deal, you know what I mean? Just coming from a small state, we the first state, but we one of the smallest, you know what I mean? So just give us some respect to let us know, like we can go anywhere just like anybody else. You just got to be put in those situations. And me just analyzing, me along with our basketball family and just friends, going over and man, I watch him, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's my son, so when I seen him, I'm like, he getting stagnant, you know what I mean? He could have stayed at, everybody's like, well, he could stay in Philly, he could break the record, because he had, he scored 1,200 in 2 seasons, but the record was 1,900, so we darn, he did score 700 some of his sophomore, junior year, so I'm like, he could score another 700 again his senior year to break the records and all that, but we it's bigger fish to fry, you know what I mean? Let's go, at the end of the day, you saying you want to make it to the top, so let's keep on going out there and try to reach. You can always, we know you're going to college, we don't know which one yet, but we know you're going to go, let's go push it to the limit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so. Great answers from both of y'all. I appreciate that. So to kind of piggyback off what I mentioned earlier with the undefeated season, y'all garnering a lot of buzz this year on the brink, or not on the brink, but actually making history. I saw it myself firsthand. For instance, at the Metro Classic, I was with Mar. and we were waiting for you after the game, and it was like 30 minutes before y'all could even come out because the court was bombarded by kids. You know what I mean? So I want to ask you, like, you know, you kind of stepped into a little bit of a celeb status, you know what I mean? So to the next generation, I want to know, how did you, you know, counteract that, and how do you maneuver around, you know, all the attention and the buzz that you're garnering?
Really, I would just have to say is just you gotta always be yourself and just be like cautious because it's a lot of like distractions and stuff like that. So you just gotta always pay attention and know who are around and stuff, and just can't change who you is, but don't show too much to everybody because everybody don't gotta see who you really is.
Facts. Okay, so with you saying that, you know, and you saying how you gotta kind of decipher who you allowed to have access to you, what, you know, qualities, or how do you kind of pick and choose, all right, what you feel like who's for you and who's not, or who has your best interests at heart?
Really, you could tell by the people, like, you have to have truth tellers around you, so like people who are always going to keep it 100 with you when you play your best, play your worst, and just people who are there for you when you at your lowest, and not just the people who are always there for you when you're doing good and just come around when they can get something for you or try to get something from you. So just always knowing who's who. Okay.
And you mentioned earlier in the interview how, you know, your leadership skills kind of stem from you being an older brother. I want to ask how you being the oldest sibling and having guys, you know, like Trell, Munchie, Carter, Kobe that look up to you, how important is it for you to set a great example for them, and what are ways that, you know, you do that knowing that they're watching you?
Really, I would just have to say by just always spending time with them, because I'm not always home like that. So whenever I'm home, spending time with them, playing on the court in their room, just like times like that, because they're going to remember that forever.
Yeah.
And then just doing the right things in school and in the classroom, and then just on the basketball court, giving my best.
Okay.
I think it's just from his walk, you know what I'm saying, day to day, just being who he is and seeing and hearing positives from other people. It ain't just coming from, say, us. You know what I mean? Whether it's on social media, because everybody on social media, all kids, so they ain't just hearing it from here, but it's like during, like, Kobe go to school, other people like, yo, you know Robert, like, that's my brother. You know what I mean? So it's like just hearing positives from other people and just him being who he is, and, you know, not making bad decisions. And everybody else is, I feel like if he do the right thing, everybody else gonna talk about it. You ain't gotta say nothing. And the other ones just know, like, all right, let me fall in line. Yeah, let me fall in line.
Okay, so it's kind of like, you know, leading by example.
Correct,
you know?
leading by example.
Okay. So, you know, this next segment, I do want to ask, you know, going into your next chapter, heading into Baylor, that's why, you know, we're here celebrating you. Next milestone, I do want to reference, you know, our last interview, or one of our first interviews from your commitment day. You know, you mentioned why you committed to Scott Drew and his system, and, you know, you mentioned how you love how he lets his guards play in pick and roll, make decisions. And, you know, I want to ask, now that you become a way better player and you've progressed, what do you feel like, you know, you can benefit from Coach Drew's system and vice versa?
Really just to go out there in a big stage, one of the best conferences that they say is in the world, the Big 12, and just playing against tough competition every night and just showing everybody that I'm the best point guard in the world, and just I impact the game with winning. Okay. So would you say, you know, that family environment is still being, you know, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, being observed, I want to say, like, from your coaches, maybe your incoming teammates? Would you feel like, you know, y'all keep in contact and feel comfortable? For the most part, yes. I believe that. Me and VJ, he's another freshman coming in, so me and him talk almost every day. So we already building that connection, and then the other people starting to talk as well. So just trying to keep building with that going into the season and have a successful season. Okay. And this question is for both of y'all. I want to know, like, what are y'all most looking forward to for next season?
Me? I mean, for me, it's just to prove to people that, again, you know what I mean, it's levels. So, you know, being in middle school, high school, now college, just showing that he can go out there and play with anybody. You know what I'm saying? It's like he don't play over the rim like that, even though he is dunking the basketball on one hand, two hands. He windmills. He doing all that now, but that's not really. He might do that once a season. You know what I'm saying? In the game, like, but it don't matter because he still win. You're gonna have him he gonna be on the floor and be very, very effective. You know what I mean? And just how he gonna, like you said a minute ago, how he gonna impact the winning culture. You know what I mean? And show them that even as a freshman, how much, even though they say it's one of the best leagues, how he can come in as a freshman and be effective right away. Just show them that, he's going to be able to get it done, you know what I mean? So I'm anxious for him to get to campus next week. It's going to come fast because I just want to be able to see him at that next level and live out his dreams, you know what I'm saying? And take whatever comes from that.
Okay. So I do want to ask you guys, the landscape of college basketball kind of has evolved now. Obviously with NIL, the portal, and I just want to ask you, both of you guys, how do you, maneuver, with confidence as an incoming freshman, and knowing that you kind of have to deal with the transfer portal and what's ahead of you? How do you feel about that?
Really, I would have to say you just have to just make sure your coaches have the right interests of why they want you on their team, and just they telling you how you're gonna fit in, and then just looking at the roster and stuff like that and seeing where you think you're gonna fit in and how good you think you are, and you have to be realistic and see how you could help and fit in with the team. So that's what I would have to say.
Okay.
Ultimately just really double down on himself, you know what I mean, or us doubling down on him, just believing I wouldn't care who they bring in there, you know what I'm saying, because at the end of the day, they not him, and they can't affect the game the way he do. You know what I mean? So none of them are better point guards. You know what I mean? You got to have a point guard to make the show run. So when he goes in there, I'm pretty sure whoever, I wouldn't care who they go get in the portal, whoever, they gonna need them to play with him. You know what I mean? So I'm just believing and trusting in him and all the work that he's put in to this point, that he just gonna make it happen and just prove the naysayers wrong. You know?
Okay. So to piggyback off of that, I'm sure you guys obviously are aware. Jeremy Roach, decided to, take his grad year and go to Baylor. I just want to know, have you guys thought about that, and how do you feel as far as how your two skill sets can cohesively work together?
At the end of the day, with Coach Drew, he gonna play a minimum of 2 to ultimately 3 guards on the floor. That's his game, you know what I mean? So Roach likes to score. You can see due to his numbers and stuff like that. But again, you need a point guard, you know what I'm saying? Rob's a true point guard, but not to take from Roach, I don't think he can score better than Rob either, you know what I'm saying? Because Rob will score with the best of them, you know what I'm saying? So obviously before he went to Montverde, people go off what they seen last, this past season. I just told you, he scored 1,202 seasons. He was averaging 23 to 25 points a game, and it wasn't hard, you know what I mean? So he took a back seat just because he's going to win. You know what I mean? He wants to win. He did what he need to win. So with Roach, that's just going to give the other teams more hell. You know what I mean? You got to deal with him and him. You know what I mean? So that's how we looking at it. We not worrying about anything other than that. You know what I mean? So.
Okay. So I do want to ask you guys, like I mentioned, the landscape of college basketball has changed. So from a business landscape, are you guys, open to obviously doing NILs and, having Rob be able to profit off his name, image, and likeness?
Yeah. Definitely. Ultimately, like I said, he never played it. We never got in the game for money, just for the love of the game. You know what I mean? I love the game. I never played at the level he played at, but just having aspirations for my sons to do it and display it, just me putting in all the reps and things and people that I was around, experience I had, poured into them, and them just do it. You know what I mean? They say don't live through your kids, but at the end of the day, I did it. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing it day to day. So I believe if that's now what the game is, the way it's evolving, then why not? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, he gonna have a family. You know what I mean? He also has a big family. You know what I mean? He the oldest of 10 siblings. So between me and his mom, you know what I mean, his mother. So whatever he wants to do to help his family and then ultimately build his own foundation, hey, that's what it's there for, you know?
Okay. And Rob, do you have, if you had to choose, give me 3 brands you would want to have an NIL deal with coming into Baylor?
3 brands?
Yeah, 3 brands.
I would have to say Nike for one, just because I like wearing Kobe's on the court and stuff like that, like KD's. And then other than that, probably a water brand. I don't know which one, but something like that, because I drink a lot of water just as a basketball player. And then probably another one. I don't know.
We go with Bulls. I got Bulls here, Buzz. Yeah. What's up, Brickley? Chris Brickley. Thank you. You know what I mean? I've been feeling these the last couple of days. I don't really like stuff in my ear, but these not all in your ear. So I'm gonna speak up for him on that one, for the 3rd one.
Okay. So I do want to ask you also, Rob. You coming into this next level, obviously, it's new expectations for you. What do you feel like will set you apart from the rest of the pack?
I really think my IQ and just how much I want to win, like my competitiveness and just how I'm going into every game trying to win. That's what I think.
Okay. Big Rob, question for you. Give me some things that you have instilled in Rob from the time that he was Kobe and Carter's age, running around, to the time that obviously we here today. Like what are some things you feel like you instilled in him that has helped him along the journey?
I was just saying about discipline, being dedicated, and just working hard. You know what I mean? And never settle. You know what I mean? Never get like settling. You know what I mean? Because even as you can see with his high school career and stuff like that, or even when he was playing, like even with Wilmington, he been playing here. I mean, he started his first team, he was at the YMCA, you know what I mean, working out. Then we went to Light Hicks. It was like every time I felt like he was plateauing or excelling, I'm like, it's time to move on. You know what I mean? We was going to Chester Biddy. We was going, you know what I mean? He going to Philly. He went to Baltimore. He went, like, we was always like playing with thrill. So we was always just like, he never was going to settle. So when he gets there and things get harder or they get easier, just keep on working and keep on grinding it out, like never giving up. You know what I mean? That's what, like, man, he was very bare. Soldiers never quit. You feel me? So if he keep never quit, he gonna be good and just grind everything out. You know what I mean?
Okay. So what did you see in him at an early age that really made you want to stay locked in on him and really work him real hard?
I mean, he my first child. So, like I said, with me loving the game and kind of living through him, basketball, every dad get their son a ball, like you basketball and stuff like that. But I really love the game. And then when we just was, he was little, we had basketball courts in the house. We had them like, different places that we lived in, and we was just always around the game. You know what I mean? So I just feel like I just poured everything into him, and he just always listened. Like, he always listened. He never really wavered. You know what I mean? I knew it was hard, and I ain't gonna say I always was used the best tactics, but he hung in there and got through to where he is now. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so like you mentioned earlier, you guys definitely have a big family, and I want to ask, what are some ways that help you manage everything as far as like what Rob needs when he's far away from home, and then you got all the little ones that need stuff right now. So it's like,
I mean, we got a village. So I would say one thing about my family, like especially like my mom's side and stuff like that. Like my mom, the oldest is 7, and they so close knit. So if you like ever been around them, like they all look out for each other. And that's just how I think my mom's side of the family, and they try and trickle down. And I watched that, so it kind of made me want to have a big family. So like my kids, they call him Rob. He got his mom's side. You know what I mean? We just got a lot of people. We got family, friends, like people always tapping in. So, of course, with social media, I can FaceTime on, Instagram and stuff like that.
Right.
We just always tapping in and seeing what's good, or him being able to call. And sometimes even if I don't, I'm like, dang, I ain't calling today. Get tied up working. I got practice with the other kids. All my sons play basketball. You know what I mean? Then I got to work and stuff like that. So it's like, my cousins might have called, my uncles, some of my friends, they might tap him like, oh yeah, I sent him a couple of eyes, or you know what I mean. So it just helped to have that village, you know what I mean. So it's like, even when I might feel like I'm falling short and check in, he be like, oh yeah, such and such did this, or I might get a text or a call from somebody like, yo, I just checked on Robert, this and third, send him a couple of dollars or something like that, just to make sure he's all right.
Okay. And Rob, to piggyback off that, just about having a big village like that, I've been blessed to interact with a lot of your family. I interned with MORE, shout out to MORE. Definitely work with Scoop and Juice. So what does that mean to you to just have different outlets that you can access?
It means a lot to me, because without them, I wouldn't be like where I am today. And they like really help with everything on the court and off the court, just teaching me just life lessons, and just on the court, just making sure I'm working on my game all the time and just continuously getting better as a person and on the court.
Okay. And my last question that I got for both of you guys as we wrap this up. The word community, I want to know what that means to you guys, as far as both of you guys being figures that give back to, your community, and you, Rob, to the next generation, of inspiring the next generation of hoopers. So I want to know, like, what does that word mean to y'all, and how important is it to you?
Community, I mean, it means a lot. I mean, because actually the community is what kind of helped us, what we always tapped into to help him, like, and my sons. And we here every day. I'm a Wilmington police officer, you know what I mean? My family got family business here. So we here every day, like, living in it and being here. And then him being here, being raised in the community. And I feel like everybody just showing love and pouring in. you know, we always try to give back and do things, even like through some of the accolades he got, like when he got Gatorade Player of the Year, us giving scholarships to help them see, like, because when he was younger, you know, some of my friends, like, you know, Damon Daniels, he was telling me about, like, the trade of Duvall's, EA, Eric Ayala's, and them guys, like, they were some of the best players in the country and guards. They used to play on the UA circuit. So we get up on Saturdays and Sundays sometimes and drive down to New York and different cities and states like that and see them guys. I got pictures of them like little, like Kobe and Carter's age, and they stand on the baselines and stuff like that. So it's like, man, they gotta see it, you know what I mean? And just like, I mean, it's a benefit for my kids, but even just for the community, that he's somebody that's here that they can see. You know what I mean? We hopefully gonna do some bus trips and stuff like that to help bring the community to come see him play, stuff like that too.
Nice. Okay, well, that's really all I got for y'all today, man. This was a beautiful event. Rob, shout out to you for making it through. You are doing amazing things.
Thank you.
And we love watching you continue to grow and continue to go through these milestones. So yeah, on that note, we're gonna wrap it up. It's your boy Trent Watson from Baseline to Baseline, Made Hoops. I got my guy Robert Wright III.
Appreciate
his dad, Robert Wright II. And that's it.